Welcome to Discover Tinley, where we highlight some of the great organizations and people connected to Tinley Park. I'm Garrett Gray. I'm your host for the month of February 2020, and today's program is brought to you by the Tinley Park Community Resource Commission and our great studio volunteers. So if you looked out your window today or walked outside, you know winter is in full effect with all the snow and the cold. But today on Discover Tinley, we're going to warm you up with a little improvisational comedy. That's because we have two sets of local improv troupes here as guests today on the show. So without any further ado, let's get to our first set of guests from No Limit Laughs Improv. Let me welcome Kristie Ansinn, the director, and Amanda Mauceri, one of the performers, who's also a Tinley Park resident. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you for having us, Garrett.
It's great to be here.
Great to have you guys on the show. So tell me, Kristie, a little bit about No Limit Laughs Improv. How often do you guys perform, and where do you perform?
We perform at the Cultural Arts Center in Orland Park, and we're known for our short form comedy. There's a little bit of long form in there, but we like to play games, lots of audience involvement, and our goal is to have the audience laugh, whether that means laughing with us or laughing at us.
So audience involvement, do they shout out suggestions? Do they get on stage?
Oh, a little bit of both.
Oh, really?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Without the audience, we don't have a show. So we definitely need their help, and we try to warm them up at the beginning, give them examples of what they would be doing in the show. But we like to embarrass them on stage as well. Invite them on the stage.
So
yes.
What's a suggestion you would get from the audience?
Might ask for a vegetable that's not green.
A carrot.
There you go. And we might ask for that. And then we build a scene around the word carrot and incorporate that in the scene however we can. And then the hilarity ensues.
Excellent. So how long have you been with No Limit Laughs Improv?
I started in 2006.
Wow.
The group has been around since 2004. So I started in the second, third season, and one of our players, our current players, Pete Vanderkreben, and I did a play together. And he said, you should come out and try this. And I auditioned and I made it, and I had zero improv experience at the time.
Wow. And now you have, 14 years?
This is a long time, yes.
And you
Definitely
direct.
a long time. And now I play the role as director. I still like to jump on stage every once in a while and throw myself in, but there is so much talent on that stage that it's not necessary. They're so solid.
Speaking of talent, Amanda, so how long have you been improvising with No Limit Laughs Improv?
This is my second season with Kristie. I took a 5-year hiatus to raise my twins here in Tinley Park and decided to come back to the group. But prior to that, I had been with Kristie in the Orland group. It was probably a total of about 6 years.
Wow.
I
Excellent.
also have had no experience.
Excellent. How is Kristie as a director?
Amazing. Amazing. She's been a great mentor, and I've learned a lot from her.
Excellent.
I don't have any cash
Yeah.
right now, but we'll work on that.
So what do people typically say to you when they find out you guys do improv? Kristie?
They ask me if that's like stand-up comedy, and I say no. It's definitely not stand-up comedy because it's a team effort. It's not just one person telling jokes. And the second question I get asked most often is, how do you rehearse improv comedy? So we don't rehearse what we're going to say. We rehearse the format of our games and our scenes that we're going to do. So we have an idea of how to begin it, reach a middle, heighten it, and reach an end. So that's how we rehearse. And basically we rehearse just to have fun with our friends. We laugh so hard on a weekly basis.
I'm sure, and the team building element of that, right? Getting to know the other teammates and getting to know how other people respond when they improv and how to play off of them, I think would be a great key.
Absolutely. We do workshop formats in some of our rehearsals, and I borrow a little bit that I learned from my Second City training. And I try to incorporate that. And we do team building skills because if we're not a team, there's no give and take, and we won't work together well. So.
Bud Abbott needs a Lou Costello and vice versa.
Absolutely.
So what do some of your coworkers and friends say when they find out you do improv?
I think at first I come across a little bit shy in the professional world. I work for a senior care industry in Orland Park, and so I think quite often people are like, improv, oh, I could never do that. I'm like, well, you do it in your daily life, in your conversations, in your relationship building, whether we're hiring new people or orientating people to a new environment. It's part of what you do in your daily conversations. It's building relationships, and it's trying to make that other person successful and in conversations, and just having fun, just having a good time.
Absolutely. So you don't just improv on the stage. You can do it at work, in life, at home.
You have to.
At school. Yeah.
To succeed.
Do you guys have an example of when you've had to improv at outside of the improv stage?
I have lots of them, but even in my own personal life, like with my family, like there's a game that we play called Questions Only, and so like just part of a icebreaker activity around the kitchen table, it'll be let's talk to each other in questions only, whatever it is, and it's a challenge, but it ends up, as Kristie said, the comedy ensues because it's hard to do, and you have to kind of trick each other into it, but so things like that is a lot of fun to do.
Excellent. So, Kristie, how big is the cast you have right now?
Right now we have 12 players,
Wow.
which is one of the largest casts we've had, but it was because it was so hard to cut. We had a wonderful turnout for auditions this season, and it's too hard to say no to incredible talent. But I will tell you, when I'm casting the season, this is my second year as director, when I'm casting, I'm looking for a puzzle. And the pieces of the puzzle have to fit together. And I may have somebody who is so funny, but it might not be the best fit for the team that I have envisioned. And turns out we have an incredible team this year. So I'm really hoping that my puzzle idea worked.
Excellent. Well, what happens at a typical improv show? How long is it? And do you guys do themes?
I will tell you, there is no typical improv show. Every show is absolutely positively different.
That was a trick question.
It was absolutely different. We have a schedule of games that we're going to play, but based on the audience suggestions, it may be the audience puts us in a bowling alley, they may put us in an airport, they may put us in a prison. Wherever they put us, we yes and we accept it and we create what they do.
Can you explain to the audience what yes and means?
Yes and is sort of the improv mantra. It is no matter what you're given, you accept it and you add on to it. So one of my favorite examples is Amanda was in a scene and a fellow castmate told her that she's the family dog. Down on all fours, she's instantly the dog and she starts barking. And this is just what we do. If you have someone tell you you're a dog, you're a dog. And her imagination and creativity that just added on to that wonderful dog is a wonderful way to do it. We have to do it every day. If somebody says you're a dog and Amanda were to say, no, I'm not, the scene dies.
Yeah, absolutely. So Amanda, what was it like playing a dog?
I was going to say, there's no stage here. Please don't ask me to do that now. So, you just get into character, whatever it is, and you again just trying to create those moments for the people that you're on the stage with to have opportunities for them to be funny. So you don't have to be funny to do improv. You just go off the audience suggestions. And so if it's a dog, you're a dog.
You build that piece of the puzzle like to the scene.
Correct.
Absolutely. Well, that's great.
What is so great about our current cast is, and Amanda is a wonderful example, they own the character, whatever that character may be. So Amanda is the dog, and she might not need to find a bush to lift her leg on, but and she is affectionate to her owner, and it's really wonderful because she owns the character and keeps it throughout the scene. So
excellent.
It seems real.
Well, I know it's easier to show than to tell, and I hear we got a clip. Can you set up this clip for us?
We do have a clip. The clip is from our November show. The game is called Helping Hands, and what happens in the game Helping Hands is we'll have a player who may not use their arms. Another castmate behind them becomes their arms to act out the scene. So the scene is a bartender in training, And the faces you'll see are Pete Vanderkrabben and Kevin Chapman. And what you don't see behind them is the arms of Sean Conroy and Brandon Vlack. And that's what you'll see.
Okay, well, we'll take a look at it right now.
There's a spot grab your whiskey. Okay. Well, I'm gonna grab it first. It's right by my right hand. Not there. Not there. Yeah. Just a little bit. Just now. There it is. There it is. Now you want 1 ounce in a contour. No, Garrett. All right. 1.
It's not a shaker.
That's enough. That's enough. This is why I asked you not to take your own shake, Gary. You can flip it, watch me flip it. Yeah.
There really is no explaining explaining the clip. It gets messy.
I guess words could not do it justice. But that's fun. That's fun. So every show is different out there. And so when are your shows? Do you perform every month?
We perform 1 Friday a month from September through May. And we do take December off. We take a little hiatus. We know that everyone has really busy lives, so we have to do that. But our next show is coming up February 21st, and we're very excited about that.
And that's a Friday?
It's a Friday night from 8 to 10 p.m.
Wow.
And so our shows last about 2 hours, and there is a very brief intermission, but we do guarantee 2 hours of laughter.
Excellent, excellent. So every month, and we can check our calendar for March and April.
March
and
27th, just in case you were wondering.
Okay,
Yes.
excellent. So, Kristie, let me ask you this. I know you're no stranger to Tinley Park, and you direct other events in Tinley Park. Can you talk to the studio audience about that?
As a matter of fact, I do have a great Tinley connection. I work with the Tinley Park Community Theater, and we just finished up a Neil Simon play back in the fall, which was fantastic, and I was assistant director to that. But my heart is definitely with the Down in the Southland program. This year we're performing Little Mermaid Jr., and the cast of Down in the Southland is a mix of children and young adults with special needs, including Down syndrome and autism, along with their typically developing peers. And they can do anything, just given a little bit more time. And we put on a performance last year of Alice in Wonderland, and it changed my life.
Excellent. So how long have you been doing that?
This is my second year doing the Down in the Southland program. And this year I am co-directing along with Michael Gandy, who I also worked with in the Tinley Park for the Neil Simon show.
I saw that show, and it was a great show.
It was
very,
fantastic.
very funny.
One of our players from our current cast was in that show as well, Joanna Leafblad.
Yes, she was excellent.
She is also the assistant director of No Limit Laughs, and she is wonderful to have aboard.
So, Kristie, Amanda, do you have any concluding words you want to share with the audience here today?
I definitely recommending coming out to the Cultural Arts Center to see the No Limit Laughs improv show. Truly, no show is the same. And we also add some musical improv in there as well, which is fantastic. And you get to see Tinley's own Garrett Gray as part of our team.
Well, spoiler alert, yes, I'm on the show. I wanted to save that for the audience, but come on out to see No Limit Laughs Improv monthly. Thanks for being on the show, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My next guests are from the Fourth Wall Improv Troupe. Here with me now is the director, Josh Blair, and the producer, Sara Denton. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you for having. It's about time, Garrett. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, I'm glad our schedules could sync up and have you on today's show. So tell the audience about Fourth Wall Improv.
Well, Fourth Wall Improv, as in previous incarnation known as Graffiti on the Fourth Wall, 2020, let's all lose weight. So we're going to do Fourth Wall Improv. I know, I'm a big dude, but I'm talking about losing weight. Listen to me. Anyway, Fourth Wall Improv has been in Tinley Park for 25 years.
Wow.
We do improv all year long. Every other month, we do shows at the Tinley Park, not the Tinley Pork. Tinley Pork is something else. Tinley Park Performing Arts Center.
Yeah, excellent. So how long have you both been involved with Fourth Wall Improv?
I've been there for 7 years.
Wow.
Still doing my 2019 math.
Yeah,
Excellent.
I've been around for 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah. I actually started at the Tinley Park Performing Arts Center, involved in the community theater. I was directing children's theater for them. And so after I finished the improv program at Second City, I just dived right in.
Excellent. Oh,
I saw an ad on Craigslist. That's not even a joke.
so Sarah, I got to ask, you have a theater background. How easy was the switch into improv from theater?
It wasn't as easy as you would think. And having the characterization, the emotions that are involved with acting, of course, you still need to have with improv. But the difference between just theater and improv is the thinking on your feet.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because you don't have a script in front of you. So if you're not good at, improvising, then it's kind of, it's definitely a lot different, but I fell in love as soon as I started doing it.
Excellent.
I knew that I wanted to.
Excellent. Josh, what's your background in improv?
I've been doing improv for the better part of 10 years, which is
Wow.
crazy when I think about it. Because I didn't even have a smartphone when I started improv. That's how people are going to judge things, like, did you have a smartphone or not? But I've been doing it for 10 years, trained at the Second City as well, a graduate of the Second City Conservatory.
Excellent.
But like the best experience has always been getting out there and doing it. Like classrooms and classes are great. We have classes and workshops at the Tinley Park District on their website. Check it out. Cheap plug. But ultimately, like, getting out there is like what made me really love doing improv.
Wow. And what did spark that initial interest into going into improv?
Honestly, and it's gonna be like weird, like you haven't known me before I did improv. I was like very, very introverted.
Wow.
Like I didn't like talking to people. This would freak me out.
I find that very hard to believe, people out there.
No, I could barely make eye contact. But someone had told me like Second City was like improv was a way to get out of that shell, and I also knew it because my dad had told me about Second City growing up, being a big fan of Saturday Night Live.
Oh, yeah,
So
of
kind
course.
of the marriage of those two things got me into taking an improv class finally.
I got involved because, as I said, I've always enjoyed theater and I loved performing my whole life. I started when I was 15. So when I was in college, I heard about Second City and I just decided to just try it out, just something different. And I did it and I fell in love with it.
Excellent. Now, what do people typically say to you when they find out you do improv?
Make me laugh. Tell me something funny.
I just get the, oh, that's so cool. I'm like, where do you do it at? And how'd you get, like, just people, like, want to know. They, like, treat you like you're a celebrity. It's like, I do community theater. Like, thank you. But, like.
Well, I know you guys do improv around the town, not just at the Tinley Park Performing Arts Center, but you also do some local gigs as well. Can you tell us about that?
We just did a show at Hailstorm Brewery. It was a little holiday improv show.
Yeah.
Which already feels so long ago in January. But we try to venture out just outside of our theater. Besides Hailstorm Brewery, we'll actually be at the Second City in June.
In June, yeah,
Oh,
we're
wow.
actually opening for Jimmy and Johnny. I believe that's June 7th. It's the first Sunday in June, and it's 8 p.m. And Jimmy and Johnny have been running at Second City for 8 years now. So they're a really well-known show. One of the performers in that show is a teacher at Second City. So we're really excited about opening for that.
And the farthest we've taken our troupe in this generation was that we had the honor of representing Tinley Park in the Grand Rapids Improv Festival.
Excellent.
Yes.
Yeah.
You were busy because I wanted you there. I wanted you in my corner so I could be in your corner. But it was an honor to do that, and we're going to hopefully do it again, and hopefully you see this guy out of state.
Yeah, and I believe that's the first improv festival we've done outside of doing the Chicago Improv Fest in the past. So we're really trying to take Fourth Wall Improv to new heights.
Exactly.
So can you tell the audience a little bit about your shows, the type of improv you do? I know you guys do themed shows. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, like theme or genre-based would kind of be a good way to describe it. As a director for the shows, like kind of my thing is to always bring something new and different every show we do. Because, like I said, we don't take breaks. We're year round, and like you could always go like, what did I do last month, and just do that again. Kind of try to repeat success. And there are certain elements we do, but for me, it's like bring something new so that each show is truly different, not just in being improv, but format and things like that. Like, one of the things we're doing this year is we are changing our schedule a little bit to do more thematic shows. Like, we're going to do a summer show. We're looking at possibly doing a Halloween and a Christmas show, which is super far away, but like doing stuff like that. Like, what have audiences not seen? What can't they see in this area? That's what I want to do. And like, I'm for lack of a better word, blessed to have a great cast of actors and a wonderful producer to help me make those shows happen.
Yeah, we even try to do different formats because when you hear improv, a lot of people think of whose line is it anyway style. And we do those types of shows with all the games, but we also like to do what's called long form improv that most people may not be as familiar with, but it's really interesting to see because we're putting on these long shows based on sometimes only one suggestion, and it's just something different that people aren't used to seeing. So I think that's how we really try to get our audience is by not just doing the same type of show every time.
Yeah, I really feel the need to like challenge our actors, because when I challenge them, they put on the best version of themselves, which in turn the audience truly loves.
Absolutely, and I've seen the shows and been part of the shows where you add a fresh twist, Josh, to the long form, and it does keep the actors and performers on their toes. How do you keep the performers fresh so that you don't overwork them? Like, how often do you guys practice?
We do like weekly rehearsals leading up to a show. We all different types of warm-ups and different approaches where, like, to me, a rehearsal, maybe when you're closer to a show is a rehearsal, but like when you're starting out, like you're a couple months away from a show, it's like a workshop. Like, what can I bring to the table that our cast hasn't done? I even asked our cast, like, what would you like to do? So it's like, it's very much like open forum at the beginning. So that way, like, you know, I have a vision, you bring in pieces, Sara brings in pieces, we put it all together, and then like a few weeks in, I put this puzzle together based on what you guys give me. So like, yeah, I'm directing the show. That just means I steer the wheel. Everyone else is making the boat go.
Yeah, I think the most important part is to push our performers to think outside of the box, because you don't want them
or past the fourth wall.
Yeah, if they're inside of this box the whole time, then they're never going to grow as a performer. So we really try to push them.
Absolutely. I hear you guys brought a clip. Can you give a little explanation of the clip? Or?
Yeah, so we are a very bizarre group. I mean, you've been there, you know how it is. Last year in the fall, we did an improv PSA, and I think you'd rather just watch it.
Okay, we'll roll it right here.
And now, a public service announcement.
Oh my God. Did you hear about the improv show by Graffiti on the Fourth Wall? They're going to be at the Tinley Park Performing Arts Center on Saturday, September 14th at 7:30 p.m. Tickets are only $9. Shut up. Oh, I know, right? It's so great. I can't wait. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be like front row center to see this show. It's going to be amazing. They've been performing for like over 20 years. They are so great. I can't wait to go to this show. It's at the Tinley Park. I mean, actually, shut up. I don't know who you are, and I've been told not to talk to strangers.
Hey, why are you talking to my daughter?
I'm just trying to tell her about the improv show.
That's my daughter. Why are you talking to her? You're not supposed to. She doesn't know you.
What's
Stranger danger. Your parents warned you about it. Don't talk to strangers. Don't accept candy. Don't accept anything, rides. However, when someone imparts great information to you about, say, an improv show, listen, but don't get in a car with them. Enjoy the show.
That's pretty good stuff. And then, what's the name of that performer?
At the end there, that's Kevin Sherman. Sara's in there well as Mike McCauley and Stephanie. I cannot pronounce her last name.
All excellent performers. Now, what are some of your upcoming shows?
All right, so it's our 2020 season. We're super excited about it because it is season 25. Makes it sound like a soap opera, but our first show is February 15th. It's the Better Than Candy Hearts open mic. It's a full improv show plus an open mic segment. So I'm putting it out right now. Like, if you are a performer of any kind that keeps your clothes on, please sign up. Search for Fourth Wall Improv will come up. We're right in Tinley Park. Yeah. All that sign up information in there. We'd love to have a whole variety of performances. You remember our last open mic? We had music.
Oh, it was awesome.
We had
Yeah,
comedy. We had all
poetry.
sorts of stuff. And
Yeah.
like that's what's fun is like not just doing an improv show, but like bringing it out to the community because there's a lot of talented folks.
Absolutely.
And I might scout for
And we do
actors.
multiple open mics throughout the year. So if you can't make February 15th and you're interested, just keep an eye on our Facebook page.
and Instagram.
Do you guys all you do workshops as well?
We are just starting workshops for the first time this year. We have one in March and one in April coming. The first one in March, he's going to lead, and it is an improv tune-up workshop for people who have a little bit of improv background and just need a tune-up.
I have found in the years of doing improv is that improv skills need maintenance. Like even myself, I need to go to a workshop and take a class, and that's not even to cheap plug my own. I have to go find one where I'm not teaching it. But like as long as like someone is outside telling you, you know, like this is your habits, this is when you do this, how you can push yourself, you can always be a better improviser. I don't care how old you are. And then in April,
And then the April one,
we have a more of an introductory thing. For people who don't have experience. Sarah's going to lead that.
Yeah, that's the one I'm leading. So it'll just be, no experience needed and just
So
come out and learn.
Is this
and
open
have
to
fun.
kids and adults, both of them?
It's 16 plus, I think we
Okay.
Yeah.
did it at. Yes. I can't remember the dates off the top of my head, but it is in the Tinley Park brochure.
It is fun you do mention kids because we do have our kids troupe, Kids on the Bridge, that does improv throughout the year. They'll have a show coming up in the spring as well.
Okay, and I've seen what Josh does when he directs the kids. They are excellent. They respond to his direction. And I was in a show. It was combined adults and kids, and I have to say those kids are excellent improv performers.
You know, it's funny, like you say that, and it's like I thought to myself, oh, you know, you guys are going to teach them, but I think it works both ways. Like there's stuff they're teaching me, there's stuff they're pushing you. It's great. Everybody's
They
learning
live in
from each other.
that mind of imagination. It's so strong. They exercise that. You kind of lose that when you get a.
We spend
do
so
adult-
much of our
Really
adult
do.
life trying to get back there, but they're there all the time.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What do you have any concluding thoughts for our audience members out there?
You know what? If you want to discover Tinley, come see Tinley Park's 25-year-old improv troupe, Fourth Wall Improv, Tinley Park Performing Arts Center. Our next show is February 15th. That's a cheap plug. What do you got, Sarah?
Yeah, it's always a lot of fun. Guaranteed laughs. Always a new show, and we just promise we'll bring the fun. If you bring yourselves there, we'll
They're
we'll
much more
deliver.
entertaining than me.
It's an excellent show, guaranteed. I can vouch for that. Josh, Sarah, thanks for being on today's show.
Thank you,
Thank you.
for having us.
And thank you
Absolutely.
for this mug.
Absolutely. And thanks to all our guests today, and thank you for watching Discover Tinley. We'll see you next month.